and welcome to the Saturday special of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Inventing cultural nostalgia. Now, I am likely to be asked, can nostalgia be cultivated? Yes. Populist leaders, and especially these so called religious leaders, the preachers, always on the habit of invoking the past. And the past can be real, it can be imaginary, it can be historical, it can be mythical. But then they try to invest the past with symbolism, with history, with stories to make it look very real, attractive, and to be desired. So they make people feel that culturally now they are no better than Philistines, that they need to go back to the past to be what they ought to be. And that is something abhorrent, despicable, hateful. Human beings are born to change, to go ahead, not to go back. Going back, reversal from modern thinking, advanced thinking, is something which is not acceptable. But then, who cares? And the results of this invention or this rediscovery of nostalgic culture, that our culture was great and now nobody can compete with it, is something really, really horrible. I, couple of days back, finished watching a short video of 7 to 10-year-old kids playing in Pakistan, and the locale was some dusty Punjabi speaking village of South Punjab. Each boy, just 8 to 10 years, not very old, had fashioned for himself a crude wooden tin sword, and they would take it out of the scabbard, which was tied on the salwar, and then they will start saying, "I'm a Muslim," and proudly they'll wave the so-called sword in the air, and then going to cut off the heads of the Kafirs. Who are the Kafirs? He didn't know. And when asked in the video what his name is, he said, Artugurul. Now, these children were thoroughly excited. They would be. Dozens of amateur videos, some with the drama, and mock sword fights leading to the fallen cross-marked Christian soldiers are circulating on the internet. And they feed that. Now imagine, until 2 years back, Atughrul was a name unknown in Pakistan. But the Turkish documentary series, Dirilis, ensured that Atughrul has taken the country by storm. Statues of the new horse-mounted, sword-wielding hero abound in places. And then imagine, Pakistan was never a part of Turkey. So how can Turkey culture take over Pakistan culture, which is essentially pan-Indian, or rather I will say Punjabi culture? And the rise of this culture is basically because of the official backing and promotion at the highest level, as is happening in India. The Hindutva, no, as I said in one of my articles, there are two aspects of Hindutva, the soft and the hard. Soft is very much to be desired, accepted, because that only means steady and adoption of what Vedas and Puranas are saying. But in modern context, I don't believe in chanting of the Vedas and things like that. But if you can relate it to the present, that's welcome. But if you say that that teaches narrow-mindedness and invoking jihad, that the world And not only that, but also curbing individual freedom, artistic freedom, that's not to be accepted. Now, that coming to that Erdogan's people so much that the dozens of impoverished families in Hazara were murdered by IS militants. So, to counteract that, Imran started promoting guerrillas. The glorifying violence and conquers through fictionalized history will have devastating effects. If we study history, I find that Ertugrul bears comparison with another massively fictionalized character, King Richard I. It was he who led the Third Crusade against the Muslims about 1,000 years back, and every boy and man in England had dreamed of following that valiant king and cutting off the Muslim heads, the way the Muslims take pleasure in cutting off Israelis, Christians, and Hindu heads. Richard first failed in his crusade, but he was full of mythological stories were built up around him, and he earned the title of Richard the Lionheart, a perfect heroic figure, brave, wise, just, and absolutely false in all the three respects. Now, such fabrication, as I said earlier, of history is by no means limited to Pakistan. Wave after wave of collective narcissism is crashing across the globe, all over the world. The Christians are always saying the Christ is coming back. The Israelis are saying again back to the Orthodox Jewish. Muslims I have already talked to, Hindus happening the same. Even Sikhs, which is the youngest religion, are concocting stories and distorting facts. And you oppose it and they are enraged. So this collective narcissism is held by the machine of the nation states, especially those which have populist leaders at the helm. The resurgent hard Hindutva, claiming mythical past, is replacing it. Now Shivaji's sword is becoming very popular in India. And the admirers of Golwalkar and Sarwakar are promoting Hindu first philosophy. Basically, saying that Hindus are the best, or the Hindi language is the best, and hatred of Pakistan is the must, is not acceptable. Anything which promotes hatred is not. I'm saying that nothing wrong with saying that you had the greatest philosophy. But you can't forget that the bloodshed, for example, shown by Bhim, the treachery which has been all the time been promoted. And the latest was, imagine I saw a video where a lady was singing that the symbol of love is not Taj Mahal, but Setu, Ram Setu. Did somebody tell her that Ram was a bad husband? No, I can be condemned for this. Ram was great insofar as he wanted to rescue his wife. Fine. But the moment he rescues it, brings her back, and then he exiles her when she is pregnant. What sort of love is that? Which alter when it alteration finds, to quote Shakespeare. Now coming back to forget Pakistan, forget India, come to America, revivalism. And the recent killing of the Asian women, the Chinese women. Same happening here. Foreign hating, hardcore revivalists in America are there and they are pain in the neck. What in the human condition makes possible the conjoining of the space age science with Stone Age politics? That's the real question. We are in the space age, landing on the Mars, and then we talk about the Stone Age cultural revival. Isn't this stupid? But as country after country places its spacecraft on the Mars, the question on why the political cultures are regressive is something to be concerned about. Now imagine Sikhs celebrate Guru Arjan Dev's martyrdom, which was not a martyrdom. Basically, he was killed by a Hindu, Chandu, because Arjan Dev had refused to marry his son Hargobind to daughter of Chandu. That was the real cause of killing of Arjan Dev. But a mythological story was built up that he was killed on the orders of Jahangir because he was not becoming a Muslim, and Jahangir was no Muslim. He loved drinking. He loved music. How can a real Muslim at that age love alcohol and then talk of, and then he never promoted Islam the way Aurangzeb did. So to me it seems that the core of the problem is cultural nostalgia. The word nostalgia now originated from medieval medical literature. It's a medical base, and it was first seen in 17th century as a psychological conditions, and it was first found in certain Swiss soldiers who had become inordinately attached to the past memories. Why? Because they had been absent from their homes. In modern times, psychologists have observed that individuals suffer from dementia and Alzheimer's suddenly burst into tears, applause, expression of joy because some blast from the past, a picture, a song, a smell, immediately comes and suffuses them. So it's a sign of mental disease. And all those people who deify the past are having some mental issue. And nostalgia, which is being invented, is a product of sick minds. I would define cultural nostalgia as collective societal nostalgia, which is fast becoming an epidemic. I was reading a book, Future of Nostalgia, by Svetlana Boym, and she lays down two plots. The return to the origin, that's the first thing, as the intro was doing, and other is conspiracy. Now, imagine the Muslims in Pakistan saying that the originators are Arabs, are on the one side Arab, other side Turk, and they have made Arabic compulsory in Pakistan. I wrote a note the other day back. Now imagine it. They have no connection. They're all converted Hindus, 99.9%. And then they take pride in being Arabic. They take pride in being the Turkish. Isn't this stupidity? This is a fake thing. So, this nostalgia, on one hand, is a deep longing for the pure, unsullied past, which is good. And that lies in the twilight zone between history and memory. The other is a product of schemers and plotters who conspire to spoil the utopia of the past for their own selfish motives. And then imagine progress has not cured nostalgia, it has increased it. And it appears to me that this nostalgia inevitably reappears as a defense mechanism, especially in times of accelerated rhythm and historical upheaval and in uncertain times. When you're not sure, say you're in power, but you're not sure whether you're going to remain in power forever. So why not build a base which will include a majority of the people, unthinking, mindless people who will follow the leader? Pakistan's preoccupation with Ratuguru has similarities. So has Hindutva. So has second coming of Christ. And this nostalgia should be seen as a longing for a different time. And that is the result from being unable to cope with the present and with the progress. When you cannot cope, cope with the progress, then you invent things. And for one, the society being actively goaded into inventing nostalgia for a culture it has never known and never have been, especially as in case of Pakistan, thinking that their culture is Arabic or Turkish. So it's a present infatuation with the past. Is it temporary? I don't think so. More worrying is that evident desire of our cultural managers to fall, and that is to form a self image as warrior nations besieged by the hostile forces. Only war is admired, not music, not art, not science. So even though Arab and the culture are considered superior and worthy of emulation, Pakistan is doing it. Nothing is being copied from the scholarly and intellectual traditions in Pakistan. So this here in India there is a difference. When I see on the Facebook people talking of the architecture of the ancient Indian temples, people talking of the art, that gives me some hope that it's not absolutely on the lines of Pakistan. There might be similarities, but A, they are not inventing the other cultures, adopting them as a, that's a classic sign of adopting parents. Parents usually adopt. Here, the nation is adopting a new culture. In India, there is a saving grace, but still, all that past is not good, and all the admiration is not good. Creating a make believe world can have beneficial consequences, I do not deny it. It can have. We can tell stories to the children so that their imagination may soar. The stories of Mahabharata, Jatka tales, Ramayana, from Puranas, the great stories. From Arabian Nights, great stories. But taking the creation of one's mind too seriously can be devastating, especially if it idolizes violence and conquest. So we have to be careful about awakening this Frankenstein. If it's not really awakening, it's creating a Frankenstein representing the past, real and imagined. You have got to think about whether this nostalgic feeling is really not a sign of mental ill health, and if so, should all the protagonists not be thrown in a lunatic asylum? There's a comment by Singh Jaspal, there's not him. How will ghazals be sung in Arabic in Pakistan? No, they will not be sung because ghazal is again a typical Indo-Gangetic plain, rather Ganges Yamuna plain, and it's a combination of Persian and Sanskrit. Urdu is a combination of these two languages. It's evolved from these two languages, and at the most in the Arabic language, you can have nats. Nats are the holy reciting, or rather, recitings in praise of Muhammad. Some are real great, but they cannot have the resonance of ghazals. But then, when the intellectual or the cultural nostalgia is intellectually manipulated, as I said, it's only for the war, it's only for the martial purposes, not for the fine purposes. This is exactly what I was saying, Mr. Singh, that those people are negating all aspects of art, beauty, culture. The only thing is to show that we were at once great hunters and animals. Let's become animals again. Let's not remain human beings. This cultural nostalgia I mentioned is a disease that needs to be curbed today. The sooner we do it, the better for us, because who wants to be mad, and better for the world? Think about it. Thank you.